Looking for a delicious meal that the whole family will love? Stay tuned. Hi, my name is Katrina. Welcome to the Organixx channel, where together we have a lot of fun in the kitchen, creating new healthy and tasty recipes. Today we're going to be making a low-carb cauliflower crust pizza. Begin by taking either one large head of cauliflower or two small ones and cutting them up into florets, so about this size, and you want to steam them. Cauliflower is a wonderful low-carb alternative, and it's also really great if you don't eat grains. Steam your cauliflower until they become nice and soft. You should be able to stick a fork into them and it should insert easily. Cool your cooked cauliflower completely, and you can do this by just sticking it in a bowl and then putting it in the refrigerator. Some people actually like to do this the night before they're going to be making the pizza because it will allow for it to go a lot faster on the day that you're going to eat it. And then also just make sure that you cool it completely, and you'll see why in the next step. Now we're ready to turn the cauliflower into cauliflower rice. In your food processor, you're going to want to do several batches, maybe about 3. And then I'm using my S-blade, and you'll want to pulse it just until it gets to be about the size of a grain of rice. Okay, if you're in a hurry and would like to save some time, you can completely skip all of those steps that we just did by buying some already made cauliflower rice from the store. You just want to make sure if it's frozen that you thaw it out completely before moving on to the next step. Using either a dish towel or a nut milk bag, which is what I'm going to be using, we're going to want to squeeze out all of the moisture out of our cauliflower rice, or as much as you can get out as possible. So I'm going to pour this into my nut bag, place it in rather. And I might do this in steps just so that I can get even more moisture out. I'm going to twist it up, and you will be really surprised by how much you are able to squeeze out. Look at that, and I haven't even really started. Once you have given your hands the best workout ever, you will end up with this lovely cauliflower mash. And as you can see, there's a lot of liquid that comes out, and you don't want to skip this step, otherwise you're going to have soggy cauliflower crust. Okay, let's get ready to make up the rest of the crust. Add in 1 beaten egg, preferably from free-range chickens. Next, let's add 1/2 cup of either mozzarella or Parmesan cheese. And I am using cheese that comes from pasture-raised cows. Why? Because they're probably a lot happier and they're eating what they're supposed to be eating, which then is better for the environment, it's better for your body, it's just better all around. Now, I haven't tried to make this dairy-free, and you are more than welcome to try. In fact, I would love to hear what works for you. 1/2 teaspoon of either pink Himalayan or sea salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. This last ingredient is optional. I'm going to add in 1 scoop of our clean sourced collagens powder, which is so good for your digestion, skin, hair, nails, joints, and adds just a little bit more protein. Using your hands, mix up all of your ingredients really well. Now we're ready to form the crust. You want to line a baking sheet with parchment paper and then make it about 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch thick. I've got a small oven, so I've got a smaller baking sheet here. I may or may not have some of this dough left over. You can either should make about a 9-inch pizza round, or you can make 2 smaller ones. So here you go. It is going to look a little bit different than a normal type of dough, and you're just going to use your hands, spread it out, and have some fun. Now we're ready to bake the crust. Isn't she beautiful? She looks like a big Easter egg. I'm so proud. Okay, so you want to stick this in about 400 degrees for anywhere between 25 to 30 minutes, just depending on how thick your crust is and what size it is. And then I'm going to take it out and flip it over and cook it for about another 5 to 10 minutes just to make sure that it's not soggy on the bottom. Okay, I ended up cooking my pizza crust for 25 minutes total. 20 minutes on one side, then I took it out. I took the parchment paper, flipped it right back over onto the cookie sheet without another piece of parchment paper, stuck it back in for another 5 minutes. I just took it out and now I am ready to put on my toppings. So one thing with cauliflower crust, right, we're trying to not get it too soggy. So you want to be really careful with how much pizza sauce you put on. I'm going to start with about 1/3 and see where we end with that. Next, I'm going to add on the cheese. I have 1/2 cup of mozzarella cheese. Now I know this is a lot more cheese than I normally cook with. So if you just wanted to do this all vegetables on top and only keep the cheese in the crust, that would work perfectly fine. Just again, it depends on who's eating it. It depends on your own personal preference and what your body does well with. We're not all the same, for sure. And so you just want to listen to your body, respect it and honor it. And what works for one person might not work for the next. Next, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. And now for some green. I have some sauteed broccolini. I just sauteed it on the stove for about a minute, not very long. And it's in real little pieces. And I sauteed it in just a little bit of olive oil. I love broccoli. I love broccoli on anything and everything. But again, this is totally up to you and what kind of toppings you'd like to use. I would love to hear what you come up with. I love reading about different creations. So definitely reach out to me, show me what you did, tell me what you did, and I would love to hear from you. Okay, I'm going to add on a little bit of spice, just a little bit of ground black pepper. I was going to add some sauteed garlic in with the broccoli, but then I put the garlic powder into the crust and I just didn't want to make it too garlicky. And then I'm just going to top it with just a little sprinkle of some more pink Himalayan salt. And now I'm ready to stick my pizza back in the oven. Again, it's at 400 degrees for about 5 to 10 minutes, just until your cheese melts or whatever toppings you're using are nice and hot. Okay, when you take your pizza out of the oven, be sure to stick it on a cooling rack just so that there's not too much moisture that builds up underneath the pan. And I am ready to give her a taste. You probably need to let her cool just a bit so that the crust does not fall apart. That is absolutely amazing. I love the broccoli and a little bit of the garlic flavor and salt and cheese. You can't tell that it's a cauliflower crust. It tastes really, really good. I would love to hear about what you do. Please, if you give this a try, let me know how it goes for you. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you receive a new weekly recipe that will keep you inspired in the kitchen. I'll see you next week.